Alright guys, no intro to this video. I'm going to keep this very brief and very concise, except to say I'll be live later when the press conference happens for Richard Allen. So half an hour after the sentencing finishes, the prosecutorial team are going to do a press conference. So I'm going to go live to stream that press conference. So let's scream at the screen together. And also, don't forget Cold Case Christmas, 6 p.m. UK time. It will be episode 20. Is it 20th today? Yeah, 20. Look, I had a lot of people who came into my comment section yesterday after the video that I made regarding Sebastian Rogers and SF Investigates analysis of the light, the one moving light from the flashlights video. There's only one moving light, which is Nick Berris's subject 2. So the analysis was that it's likely that subject 2 is a person walking with a handheld flashlight who is between 5'5" and 6 foot, but closer to 5'5" than 6 foot. The obvious conclusion is, well, Sebastian was 5'5", so it's either a coincidence that it's someone else out in the neighbourhood, which it could easily be, because people, believe it or not, do go out in their neighbourhoods in the 5 o'clock hour. I do sometimes. When I get up early, I take my dogs for a walk. So it could be somebody in that local neighbourhood taking their dog out before they go to work, or it could be somebody taking their trash out who forgot to put it out the night before because the trash truck's here. So it could easily be either of those things. But it's intriguing. Could be Sebastian. Look, Steve Fisher, SF Investigates, has said quite clearly, doesn't mean it's Sebastian. He's released the full 8-page light analysis. You can go to his Twitter and download the full thing if you want to read it carefully. So there's that. Now, a lot of people came into my comment section saying, go and watch the Mob Crew, go and watch the Mob Crew. No, Mob Crew was wrong. Go and watch my analysis of why the Mob Crew's wrong. Second, people came into my comment section saying, Michelle, I'm confused. What does it all mean? Which I'm very sympathetic to, because I don't know either. It could mean that what Chris and Seth were told was wrong. They were told by law enforcement. The only reason why the trash trucks ever come into this conversation is because Chris and Seth were told by law enforcement ages ago now that that light, Nick Berris's subject 2, was the trash truck over on Honeysuckle. I've explained this so many times, and it presumably would be the light on the top. But law enforcement might have been wrong, or law enforcement might have been telling Seth and Chris something purposefully inaccurate. Or it could mean SF Investigates is wrong, that it's not a person, that it's actually what law enforcement said it was, and it's the trash truck. And even if it is a person walking, I think it either has to be in the tree line at the back of the houses, or it has to be directly across the road from Sebastian's next door neighbour, that house. Now it's raised up, like it's on an elevation, and there's some trees. Alright, final thing is people are irritating the life out of me by saying, Michelle, you've got to use the original lights video, like the full screen one, rather than just the part of the screen. I agree with you, but I explained why we can't do that. It's the same lights. I explained it all in my live stream the other day. It's the same lights. You can match up those lights, but because the camera from the house on the corner is angled down, right? It's angled down onto the side. You can't angle anything that you want to overlay against in the same way because Google. I agree with you that it's not perfect because we don't have a daytime shot. of what that camera saw. I've said this again and again and again and again and again and again. Because we don't have that daytime shot and we're all relying on Google, including Mob Crew, then we don't have a perfect background to overlay the lights onto. I understand all of that. But you've got to match those lights that Cletus took, which was more accurate in terms of the angle. Callie. Got Callie the pointer here today. She is a nervous Nelly. Callie! Oh, Callie. What Cletus took wasn't quite the right angle, but it was close. So because that is closer, that's the thing that you need to use. And you can see that there's no other lights that match perfectly the two houses in the cul-de-sac. I don't know how I can explain that better, honestly. I really don't. Go and watch yesterday's video again. Go and watch the 2 live streams that I did this week. And my Mob Crew's wrong. Look, just go and watch it all again. But is it Sebastian? We don't know. There's no suggestion that it is Sebastian. But it could be Sebastian, because Sebastian was also out with a flashlight. It could be somebody taking the dog for a walk. It could be somebody taking their trash out. It could be the trash truck. And SF Investigates is wrong. There's always that. But we have to explore every possibility, and there is that possibility that that could be Sebastian coming home. But what happened to him? He was nearly home if he was there, if that was him. He's nearly home. So I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Now, Chris Proudfoot went on the Elevated Truth podcast. Callie! I watched this overnight my time. Callie. Yes, enough. Callie, come here. Not you, your name's not Callie. Callie. Oh, you okay? You're okay. You're okay. You're okay too, Billy. Get down your back. So he responded to a lot of questions. So I'm going to end with a clip from Chris. And guys, the full story, law enforcement don't want out. I'll leave a link to the full thing in the description box. He comes in kind of halfway through, so yeah, over and out.
In return, look, have some compassion. Learn to accept things. Like, there's answers that we all want, and we just don't get.
Not yet, anyway.
Exactly. And we want nothing more than to have them. Sebastian to be home. That's what's important here.
Yeah, but you got to understand, when there's a missing child and they're, like you said, tearing people apart, when people feel there's inconsistencies in stories, and people are going to dissect that. That's what this sector does.
I know. And the sad part is because the whole story cannot come out.
Right.
Because law enforcement doesn't want things out. You know, there are people out there that want to take one thing and twist it and shove it into a direction which they don't need it to be going, but they're doing it anyways. For what reasons? It ain't my business. But it sure in the world doesn't help find Sebastian. This community, true crime, and all these creators out there, they could do so much
amazing things.
Yes. Everybody can. And I've had this conversation with several people. They could do so much better.